You were created to abide in Christ. That's your whole Christianity. You were not made to exist outside of Christ. You don't live here, and He lives way over there. And your best hope is that someday He'll come back and get you. No. The hope of glory lives inside of you, not on a planet called heaven. If you can get rid of that illusion of distance and separation that you inherited from the first father Adam, the illusion that God is somewhere else rather than in me, if we can get rid of that, we will be a blessed people. We will realize that God's destiny for us is that we abide in Him and He abides in us. Jesus said, I am the vine, my Father's the vine dresser. You are branches of the vine. You're already clean, Jesus said. That took all the condemnation away from production, from being fruit producers. He said, you're already clean by the words that I've spoken to you. But if you do produce fruit, the Father is going to prune some of that fruit so that you produce greater fruit. And we ministered on what that looked like last night. But that leaves a lot unsaid in John 15, and Jesus says a lot more. So I want to dig back in, if we would. It's beginning in verse 4. Abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit. For without me, what can you do? Nothing. This is it in simplicity. Without Jesus, you can do nothing. You're not pretty good, you're just no good. Jesus says, without me, you will not produce. Nothing will come out of your life. It is not you and I working in tandem, hand in hand. It's you and I as the same individual. It's me living in you. I always was disturbed by the Footprints poem where the guy has the dream and he's walking down the beach and there's two sets of footprints. Remember this? And then everybody's grandma had that on their wall. Remember that poem? And the guy says, Lord, what's this dream about? This is where they're walking alongside of one another, and then there's one set of footprints. Oh, what happened? Is this where you abandoned me? This was the darkest hour of my life. Why would you leave me in that dark hour? And I'm probably botching. I'm not making it poetic at all. But and then it was, oh, my son, that's where I carried you, right? And that bugs me, because there should have just been one set of footprints the whole time. And not because he was carrying you, but because he lives in you. And wherever you're walking, he's walking. Wouldn't it have been great if the poem had one set of footprints and go, Lord, where were you? And he goes, that's me. Because honestly, without him, you can do nothing. Without him, you are nothing. But don't worry, that's not an effort statement. Boy, I want to go out and make sure that I'm in him. Branches don't have to think about being attached to the vine. They'd be dead if they weren't. The fact that you know he exists, that you know he loves you, means you must be attached to him. And if you're attached to him, stress-free fruit production, don't worry about it. The vine dresser is in the vineyard. That's the good news of John 15. It was meant to make you excited. I have a vine dresser. The vine dresser is in charge of me. He waters me. He cultivates me. He prunes me. He picks me up. He ties me to the wire where I need to grow. He keeps the pests away from me. He fights with his rod and his staff. He shelters me and he comforts me. He's producing in me something beautiful, and I don't have to stress and I don't have to worry about it. And I'm attached to him and he's attached to me. We are a single set of footprints. And I'm walking in him and he's walking in me, and I'm living in him and he's living in me, and he's flowing through me, and out of me is going to come fruit, and that fruit is going to bless the nations, because that fruit will be a wine that tastes better in the next generation than it does now, because what God is doing in me is not just for me, it's for everyone I ever encounter. Now, if you can get that, you can grasp that, we're in a good starting place today.